Let's begin lying down on your back. Up to you where you want to have your legs. You can extend your legs, you can have your feet standing on the floor. You could have the soles of your feet together, knees wide. That's a comfortable thing for your hips. And just sort of feel through this rib cage, back of your rib cage, spine, shoulder blades. So get everything kind of situated comfortably. And take a minute or two here just to settle, arrive. A few big deep breaths to begin. And then we'll watch as the breath settles or resolves itself into just something that feels natural, even, steady. Take 5 more breaths here. Take another 4 or 5 breaths. No hurry, just let them arrive in their own time. Watch exhalation resolve itself. Maybe there's even a little pause between exhale and inhale. Good, and then from there, if your legs are out long on the floor, go ahead and bring your feet up to stand, your heels up close to the backs of your hips. With your arms alongside you. Take a breath in, and then on the exhale, push your feet, bridge pose, just your right arm up and over your head to the floor. And then leave your arm there, but inhale and bring your spine back down to the floor. And then exhale, come back up into bridge pose with your hips and your spine. And then the next time you inhale, bring the arm back down as you come back down out of the pose. Do that twice more with just your right arm. And once more. Inhaling, right arm comes back down with spine and hips, and then exhale, left arm, bridge pose. Inhale, leave the arm overhead, come down. Exhale, bridge pose. Everything comes back down. And see if you can, we'll do that twice more. So come back up, articulating through each vertebrae. as well as you can. Sometimes it gets a little challenging down through the lumbar. Exhale, let exhale help facilitate that little roll up through the lower back. Everything comes back down as you breathe in one more time. Bridge pose, left arm. Leave the arm there, inhale, come down. Exhale, come up. Inhale, arm back down, spine back down to the floor slowly. Extend both legs. Take a breath. Feel your legs. A lot of tingling, a little energetic pulses and tingling. And then feet back to the floor behind your hips. Take a breath in. On the exhale, both arms. Spine up. Hips up, spine up. Leave both arms there. Inhale, spine to the floor, hips to the floor. Exhale, roll back up, bridge pose. And both arms back down. Twice more like that, just slowly, evenly. Last one. All the way back down with an inhale, re-extend your legs, and then just take another breath. Let's bring the feet back up to the floor one more time. Your heels on the floor behind your hips. You're going to take a breath in, a little pelvic tilt away from you. So space behind between the lumbar spine and the floor. On the exhale, close that space, pelvic tilt toward you. Take just 4 more long breaths like that. Exhale, navel to spine, long, flat, lower back, lumbar spine. Inhale, release, let that go, and then bring your hands together behind your head. Interlace your fingers there, take a breath in. A nice arch in the back here, push your elbows into the floor, tilt your chin back, pelvic tilt. And then on the exhale, knees in, feet off the floor, knees in, lift your head, bring your elbows to your knees. Inhale everything back down to the floor. Exhale, curl up like a ball. Three more. Slowly, with some precision, with some intention. Last one. And all of that go. So you can let go of your head and then take your feet out to the edges of your mat. a little wider than hips distance and a little bit away from the backs of your hips. And then let the knees fall to the right and the left, just loose, heavy, just the legs under their own weight. Let the weight of the legs fall from side to side. And so you're just feeling a little turn through the abdomen and the lower back, lumbar spine, back of your hips. Once more to each side. And then come over onto a side, so you can push up through your hands. Arm strength brings you up from the floor onto all fours. Cow pose and cat pose, but feel free to side bend as you're moving in and out. Cow pose and cat pose, in and out of like full spinal flexion and extension, side bending, little twists that come along with the side bending, and roll from side to side. Cow pose, right, where you let the belly drop and you pull heart forward, tailbone tilts up. Feel the lower abdomen, feel some space there. 2 more breaths. Full rounded cat back, arching your spine up. And then from your neutral spine, from all fours, you're gonna step back left foot, and then step back right foot. And then lower left knee, and then lower right knee. So just about that slowly. Come back into the high push-up position, 1 foot, 1 leg at a time. And then you lower out 1 knee, and then the other knee. Do that 3 more times, the same order, left leg back first, then right. Feel your weight shift is very subtle, shifting of your weight while you're up with 1 leg before you get to 2. And then as you come down and drop 1 knee, you feel that shift again through your hands, arms, shoulders, upper back. Once more. And then press back, maybe child's pose, maybe you just sit back on your heels. Right, take a breath. Stretch through the hands, arms, shoulders here if you like shoulder extension. And then we'll come back and we'll just go the same thing with the opposite leg starting when you are ready. Right foot, left foot. Right knee drops, left knee drops. 4 more. And so it's like you're trying to keep your legs and your hips and your feet very quiet. Trying not to let your shoulders hear, feel, see, know what your legs are doing. Shoulders, upper body very stable. And creating that stability with what's happening with each leg, 1 at a time. In and out, high push-up position. 1 more. And then hips back. Child's pose or Shoulder extension here again, if you want to, just sit back on your heels. Do little wrist turns, little wrist whirls, twirls. Release any strain in your wrists. And you have modifications for that as well. You can always do this on your elbows, your forearms. You could be in your fists. We know all of the modifications. All the helpful hints. Okay, and then let's come up to stand and then back down to the floor a few times. Try to do that without using your hands, just use your legs, use your feet and your legs if you can. Certainly, right, if you need to use the body by like putting a hand on a knee and then pushing off the back foot to come up, you can do that. When you come back down, steady yourself, stabilize yourself by holding on to a knee. You can just go that far, or you can come and sit all the way back down with your feet out in front of you, and then try to get your feet behind you. And then foot to the floor. And then stand up. And then go back down. And mix it up as to which direction you swing your feet out so that you can bring your feet forward. If you can go that way over your knees, you can do that. Find ways to get up and down off the floor that aren't always the same way. So you probably have a stronger side and a weaker side, make the weaker side do some of its share. Let's do 3 more. You can just squat, feet wide, sit down, squat, your hips are down on the floor, and then feet on the floor from the squat, stand back up. You might play with that. That's one. And once you're up to stand, you're standing. You're standing. Come to mountain pose. Just be in mountain pose. Two more breaths. And let's step the feet apart. Take a wide stance. Go as wide as you can with your feet. Right? Meaning when you come into warrior 2 in your legs, so you bend your front knee, your back leg is extended, you should feel like your feet are as wide as you can go and still feel stable. Like your feet aren't going to slide out from underneath you. Go as wide as you can. So when you sit down, you just want to find right at the edge of like how much work you can do here in your legs. And then go out with both arms. Couple more breaths, hold the floor with the feet. Come to an extended side angle. You can modify, put forearm to knee if you like, but be lightweight, maybe even just hover the arm close to the leg. 3 more breaths. And then you're back up. And if this feels okay, like it would be okay to experiment in triangle pose with your feet that wide, try to do triangle pose from this wider stance. If it doesn't feel stable, course, you just close it up as much as you need to. Play with it wider. If you have good traction under your feet, if your mat is nice and sticky and your feet are not sliding at all, try wider. And then arms, just lift your arms. Take arms up. And then fall sideways. Two more breaths here. And then stay where you are, but take your bottom arm, maybe just bring it to rest across the back of your waist. How are your legs? You need to soften your front knee a little bit. You could soften the front knee. Just be alive, be very on in your legs. Take 3 more breaths with your top arm over your ear like extended side angle. Good. And then let everything in the upper body reach for the floor. Reach to the inside of left foot, but then walk to center and then turn in your left toes. Be even in your feet. Find an even planting of your feet and then take a few breaths just in the fold. Good. Hands to hips. Flex through the upper back, pull through the upper back to come back up. And then find that same slightly wider, push a little bit at your edges, wider stance, warrior 2. Arms wide, 5 breaths. Sit low, challenge yourself to sit just a little lower. And you, right, can monitor that. You can just dip into a little bit more intensity and then back off a little bit, dip into a little more intensity and back off, or 5 breaths in extended side angle. I think it sometimes helps to really ground this front foot, front heel, and the ball of the foot. And then the heel, and then the whole sole of the foot. And then we're back up. And if you want to play with this width of your feet for triangle pose, stay here with your feet. Move in a little closer if that feels just more stable. Make sure you feel stable. You don't want your legs to have to be battling. Here when you come and lean sideways, fold sideways, and then reach up. One more breath. But then take the bottom arm out of the pose. Around the back of your waist. 2 breaths. Last 3 breaths, top arm over your ear, long extension. Reach for the floor, let everything come down. Everything come downward. Even balance through the soles of your feet. One more breath. Good, and then again, either roll up through your spine, flex through the upper back. Come back up. Heels under your hips. Tadasana, mountain pose. One more breath. And then to stand on one leg, let's bring the arms overhead and then shift your way to your left foot. And then pick up your right knee. The right knee is level, if possible, with your hip. And then kick straight out through your heel. Bend your knee. Straight out through your heel. Bend your knee. Straight out through your heel. Bend your knee. Do 3 more. A little tightening, top of your thigh, front of your hip, and then go straight back into warrior 3. So your right leg goes back, your arms come forward here, or palms to your heart, or arms down alongside you. It's a lot of work in the shoulders. Two more breaths. And then you're back in mountain pose. Pause here, take a breath. Yeah, okay, and then we'll go on to the other foot, into the other leg, stable in the opposite leg and hip. Arms over your head. Your arms can be anywhere, really, for this. You want to take arms overhead, you'll be there for warrior 3. Bring lifted left knee in line with left hip. Kick straight out. Without compromising the rest of your verticality. So if that kick is down here, everything else is stable and tall. And then straight back, arms forward, warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, whatever you need to do with your arms. You make like an airplane. One more breath. Mountain pose. With a breath in, bring your arms over your head. With your breath out, soft knees, forward fold, Uttanasana. Take a breath here. Inhale, half forward fold. Stay through the exhale. Strong press of your arms, of your hands into your shins. Take another breath in. Then on the exhale, release your hands and step your feet back. Take a breath. In on the exhale, come down. On the inhale, any amount of back bend that is supported by your arms, shoulders, chest, upper back, that does not compromise your lower back. Downward facing dog. Four more breaths. Good. Shift forward, lower your knees to the floor, come to a seat with your feet in front of you, and then your knees dropped to the right, but with your right foot sitting kind of close to, on top of, in front of your left knee. And then put your hands and just swing your hands all the way around to the right, hands to the floor. You find that kind of deep yin twist, ribcage spine, really lovely. Take 3 more breaths. Feel that deep turn out the belly, and then even deeper up through your rib cage and thoracic spine. And then release. And maybe no hands. You come up. Put your knees out to the other side. Drop both knees. Reach around. Rotate 5 breaths. Let that go. And then turn yourself to face, so your feet are facing the foot of your mat. Let's bring the arms forward and then round in, so kind of concave through your chest. And then as well as you can, set each vertebrae one at a time, slowly, all the way down. And then extend your legs and reach your arms over your head, hook your thumbs together, pull, long, lengthy, pull. Good, and then let's try, it's a very loose kind of dynamic plow pose, I suppose, or like a pelvic, almost a pelvic tilt, but where you're coming more off the floor with your hips. And if you want to reach up through your head and your arms, you can do that too. But you just start with your legs in the air, and then you just lift them up a little higher, but you're engaged right strongly through the abdomen. You can lift head and shoulders or not, if that feels like too much strain in your neck. You can let that go. If you want to roll into plow pose and do shoulder stand, you can do that too. You're getting a little bit of inversion, and you're getting some nice kind of pressure against the spine, lower spinal muscles. And that same engagement through the abdomen every time your legs go up. A few more. If you're in shoulder stand, stay as long as you want to stay in shoulder stand. And when you're done, ready to be done, and you're in shoulder stand, you do a little bit of fish pose. And then if you're not doing a shoulder stand, just come into 4 or 5 breaths only. Twist knees to one side. If you like that kind of weird opposite cross of knees, so if you're going to the right with your right leg over your left leg, and then you're going to the right, you're using your right leg more to pull the left knee a little more down, the left hip a little more over. You can do that one. 5 breaths. We'll switch sides. Let the legs unravel, go the other way. Any variation, recline, twist. Yeah, let the legs slide apart, fall apart, unravel. When you're ready to come back onto your back, onto your back. And if you have a block, let's take the block between your sacrum and the floor, on the wide, flat edge of the block, or maybe up one level to the long, skinny, the longer skinny side of the block. And you can just be here. You can just do this. Your feet stay on the floor, maybe out a little bit from underneath your knees, or you can extend one leg and find a little deeper extension in the hip. Let's take 10 breaths. If you're extending legs, 5 breaths each leg. Do you sense your breath slowing down as you come to the end? And just sort of roll the sacrum up off the block when you're ready to let that go. And then you could just extend your legs. So neutral hips, neutral sacrum, neutral spine. If you want to hug your knees to your chest, you can do that too. Let's take 3 or 4 minutes to rest. Breathe together, rest, reintegrate. Find a comfortable reclined position on your back, with support, without support. take 3 or 4 minutes to consciously rest. Observe yourself at rest. Might begin lengthening, deepening your next 2 or 3 breaths. Reach your arms overhead one more time. You could do that here. Then bring yourself from your back onto your side, onto your most comfortable side. Pause here for a breath or 2. Good. And then press palms to the floor. Bring yourself back up to sit through the strength of your arms, hands in your arms. And take just a moment here, pause here. Honor your intention, your purpose, whatever it is that brings you to your practice, that motivates you, giving you this time for yourself, for body, breath, for mind. Let's take a breath in and reach your arms up, long overhead, palms together. Lower your palms once again to heart and close your practice here. Thank you as always for your time. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Let your practice sort of imbue the days ahead until you can return to your mat. Thanks again.